Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the evening news. The headlines. Tata Sons wins bid for acquiring the national carrier Air India for 18,000 crore rupees. Journalists Maria Ressa of Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia win the Nobel Peace Prize for 2021. In a major success for the Indian diplomacy, UK government reverses its quarantine policy on fully vaccinated Indian travellers to the UK. Reserve Bank of India keeps the repo rate unchanged at 4% and reverse repo rate at 3.35%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls up Fumio Kishida and congratulates him on assuming the charge as the new Prime Minister of Japan. Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, to arrive in India tomorrow on a 3-day visit. At least 50 people killed in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. More than 93 crore 17 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far, recovery rate at 97.96%. Ministry of Coal to launch the next round of auction process for 40 new coal mines for sale of coal. And Indian grappler Anshu Malik creates history as she becomes the first Indian woman to win a silver medal in the World Wrestling Championships. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Tata Sons Group has won the bid for acquiring the national carrier Air India. Tata Sons made a winning bid of 18,000 crore rupees for Air India. Thales Private Limited, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tata Sons, has emerged as a successful bidder for acquiring Air India, beating a consortium led by Ajay Singh, whose bid was 15,100 crore rupees. Both the bidders had quoted above the reserve price of 12,906 crore rupees. Department of Investment and Public Asset Management DIPAM Secretary Tuhin Kant Pandey, while addressing a press conference in New Delhi, said that the winning bid comprises of taking over a 15,300 crore rupees debt and paying the rest by cash.
Tata Sons Private Limited, their SPV, Thales Private Limited, is a winning bidder at 18,000 crore for the sale of equity shareholding of GOI in Air India in AIXL, which is a subsidiary of Air India as a part of this transaction. Now, going forward from this, a letter of intent will be issued and SPA will be signed with successful bidder.
He said the transaction is expected to be completed by December 2021. Mr. Pandey said that an inter-ministerial group comprising Home Minister Amit Shah, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia cleared the winning bid for Air India on the 4th of October. We have this report.
Tata Group had earlier run Air India before it was nationalized. The Tata Group-Air India relationship goes back to 1932 when legendary industrialist Jahangir Ratanji Dadabhoy had launched the national carrier. The airline soon expanded to passenger aircraft and in 1938 it started flying overseas. With the Air Corporations Act in 1953, the government took over the company from Tata Sons and nationalized it. Now, in view of mounting debt, the Union government once again had invited bids for strategic disinvestment of 100% stake of the government in the airline last year. With Naseem Naqvi, Suparna Saikia, IIR News, Delhi.
In Spotlight, the News Services Division of All India Radio will broadcast a special program on disinvestment of Air India and the gains. This special program can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This will also be available on our website newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. The Nobel Peace Prize awarded today to the journalists Maria Ressa of Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia for their fight for freedom of expression in their countries. The pair was honored for their efforts to safeguard the freedom of expression, which is a precondition for democracy and lasting peace, said the chairwoman of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, Berit Reiss-Andersen. They are representatives of all the fearless journalists who stand up for the truth in a world in which democracy and freedom of the press face increasingly adverse conditions, she said. Muratov has defended freedom of speech in Russia for decades under increasingly challenging conditions.
In a major achievement in global arena, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has yet again enhanced India's stature and capabilities to make UK mend its discriminatory move and grant permission to vaccinated Indians to travel to UK without quarantine. The United Kingdom has announced that Indian travellers who have been fully vaccinated with Covishield or any other UK-approved vaccine will not be required to undergo the mandatory 10-day quarantine on arrival in the country from Monday. Taking to Twitter, British High Commissioner to India Alex Ellis said, from 11th of October, no quarantine will be required for Indian travellers visiting UK who are fully vaccinated with Covishield or another UK-approved vaccine. He thanked the Indian government for close cooperation on the issue.
From Monday the 11th of October, a traveller from India to the UK, double jabbed with Covishield or another vaccine recognised by the UK regulator, does not have to quarantine. And it's the product of excellent discussions with the Indian authorities. Some of the noise about this issue over the last few weeks just shows how keen people are to travel to the UK, and I'm delighted by that. So let's now open up more flights between the two countries. This is a further step down the road set by Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Johnson when they agreed the comprehensive strategic partnership between our two countries in May.
More than 93 crore 17 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry in a statement said that 21,257 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. A total of 24,963 people recovered from the infection in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 97.96%, which is the highest since March last year. Daily positivity rate is at 1.53%, which is less than 3% for the last 39 days. A total of 58 crore COVID tests have been conducted across the country so far.
Delhi government employees who have not got at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine will be not allowed to attend office from the 16th of this month. In its order, the Delhi Disaster Management Authority said all government employees working in departments, PSUs, local bodies and educational institutions under the Delhi government, including the frontline workers and teachers and other staff, should get vaccinated for at least the first dose by the 15th of this month. It said they will not be allowed to attend their offices. After that, they will obtain the first dose vaccination. It said the period of absence from duty will be treated as leave till the administration of the first dose of the vaccination. The Kerala government today announced detailed guidelines on the reopening of schools in the state after a long gap of 1.5 years. More in this report.
The detailed guidelines named as Back to School were prepared jointly by the State Health and Education Department. As of now, the schools in the state will reopen on the 1st of November. Classes for 8th and 9th grades will commence only after November 15th. The guidelines insist that the children should reach schools only with the consent of their parents. For the first 2 weeks, classes will be conducted till noon. All the teachers and the school staff should be fully vaccinated. Moreover, classes will be conducted on Saturdays also. The guideline states that a maximum of 2 children can be seated in a bench from classes 1 to 7th. The schools will provide classes both in online and offline mode. Mayush Shah for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Suryakant, KGMC Lucknow, will be with us today to answer the queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on toll-free number 1800-115767 and on telephone number 011-2331-4444. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by #AskAIR. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.nic.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI's Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, today kept the repo rate unchanged at 4% and the reverse repo rate at 3.35%. While announcing the monetary policy in Mumbai today, RBI Governor Shashikant Das said,
the MPC voted unanimously to maintain status quo with regard to the policy repo rate, and by a majority of 5-1, to retain the accommodative policy stance. Consequently, the policy repo rate remains unchanged at 4% and the stance remains accommodative as long as necessary to revive and sustain growth on a durable basis while ensuring that inflation remains within the target going forward.
The RBI has also maintained financial year 22 GDP growth target at 9.5%. The governor said the central bank sees Q2 FY22 GDP growth at 7.9% compared to 7.3% earlier. He added that growth impulses were strengthening and inflation trajectory may be shifting downwards in contrast to initial expectations.
Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, has said that the centre is committed to enhancing the ease of doing business for the film industry. He interacted with the officials of the South Indian Film Chamber of Commerce in Chennai today. In the meeting, he said the Information and Broadcasting Ministry has launched a unified portal for securing single window clearance for film shooting from various departments. Mr. Murugan said the ministry has signed an MOU with IIT Mumbai to establish a world-class institute for training in animation and VFX. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has called upon the ASEAN bloc to do away with the non-tariff barriers. Addressing the special plenary with the trade ministers of the region Indo-ASEAN Business organized by the Confederation of Indian Industry, he also called for curbing the misuse of free trade agreements by the third parties, often outside the ASEAN region. Mr. Goyal said it is unfortunate that in the recent past, India had to deal with several restrictive barriers on the exports to the ASEAN region, particularly in the agriculture and the auto sector.
The Ministry of Coal will launch next round of auction process for 40 new coal mines for sale of coal. Union Minister of Coal and Mines, Prahlad Joshi, will be the chief guest of the launch event to be held on 12th of this month in the ministry. Since the ministry has entered into a rolling auction mechanism, the coal mines rolled over from the previous tranche will also be on offer. In Bihar, the third phase of Panchayat elections passed off peacefully. No untoward incident has been reported from any part of the state. For the first time, EVMs were used in Panchayat polls in the state. Electoral fortune of 81,616 candidates are sealed in EVMs. An estimated 55% voting was recorded in today's poll. Polling was held in 50 blocks spread over 35 districts including Patna, Buxar and Madhubani. Counting of votes will be taken up on 10th and 11th of October. The fourth phase of polling will be held on October the 20th.
In Tamil Nadu, the second phase of Panchayat Union election will take place in 28 districts tomorrow from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. The last hour will be reserved for the COVID-19 patients. According to the State Election Commission, around 1 lakh government employees will be deployed to carry out the polling exercise. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath reiterated that the state government is committed to probe the Lakhimpur Kheri violence thoroughly. He said a special investigation team, SIT, consisting of senior police officials, has been constituted and a judicial commission has also been appointed to probe the matter. Participating in a TV channel's program in Gorakhpur today, the Chief Minister accused the opposition parties of venturing into political tourism in Lakhimpur.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin today inspected the second phase of the Chennai Metro Rail project. The project is being undertaken at a cost of rupees 61,843 crore. The Chief Minister also discussed about the Central Square and Urban Square projects at an estimated cost of 403 crore rupees with the Metro Rail authorities. The second phase will have 3 tracks at a total area of 118 km distance, which will cover the suburban areas of Greater Chennai.
Union Minister of State for Jal Shakti Prahlad Singh Patel has said that the target has been set to provide tap water to every household by 2022. Union Minister of State laid the foundation stone of Shampur drinking water scheme to be constructed at a cost of about 9 crores under the Jal Jeevan Mission in Shampur, Rishikesh. On this occasion, he said that with this, the drinking water scheme, the problem of scarcity of water in Rishikesh area will be solved. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to Fumio Kishida and congratulated him for assuming the charge as the Prime Minister of Japan. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said that he looks forward to working with the Prime Minister of Japan to further strengthen the India-Japan special strategic and global partnership and to enhance cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Tata Sons wins bid for acquiring national carrier Air India for 18,000 crore rupees. Journalists Maria Ressa of Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia win Nobel Peace Prize 2021. In a major success for Indian diplomacy, UK government reverses its quarantine policy on fully vaccinated Indian travellers to UK. Reserve Bank of India keeps repo rate unchanged at 4% and reverse repo rate at 3.35%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls up Fumio Kishida and congratulates him on assuming charge as the new Prime Minister of Japan. Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, to arrive in India tomorrow on a 3-day visit. At least 50 people killed in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. More than 93 crore 17 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far, recovery rate at 97.96%. Ministry of Coal to launch next round of auction process for 40 new coal mines for sale of coal. And Indian grappler Anshu Malik creates history as she becomes the first Indian woman to win a silver medal in the World Wrestling Championships. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार.
Welcome back. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. In West Bengal, the festive mood has already set in with just 2 more days to go for the greatest festival of Bengal is the Durga Puja. A report from our Kolkata correspondent.
Bengalis across the globe wait for the 5 days of festivity throughout the year. Some of them seek to visit home during Durga Puja to connect with their roots. For 2 consecutive years, COVID has changed the usual practice, but it could not dampen their spirit. Puja committees are also stressing to mark their presence through the web. A club in the northern fringe of Kolkata has made their pandal at a replica of Burj Khalifa, the iconic building of Dubai. The organizer Sujit Bose told AIR News that they have arranged to livecast the puja and it can be watched from over 50 countries.
इस साल बुर्ज खलीफा बन रहा है. यूट्यूब में ये पूजा देखेंगे. इधर कोविड प्रोटोकॉल हम लोग को मानेंगे. सरकार का जो निर्देश है और कोर्ट का जो निर्देश है वो निर्देश मान के हम लोग पूजा करें.
Special lighting arrangements have given the pandal a majestic look and the passerbys are moving rather slowly to have a glance at the iconic structure. Madhuparna Chaudhary for AIR News, Kolkata.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen now to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
8th October is the death anniversary of a great freedom fighter, revolutionary and crusader, Jai Prakash Narayan, who was popularly called JP. It is said the nationalist leader, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad's call to lift up to the skies like leaves before a storm drew JP to the freedom movement. Maulana Azad had called for giving up English education. Jayaprakash took his words to heart and left Patna College with just 20 days remaining for his examination and joined Bihar Vidyapeeth, a college run by the Congress. After completing his course, he decided to go to the United States for further studies, where he took up odd jobs to pay for his college fee. As a result, he developed a natural affinity towards the working class, which remained all through his life.
JP, also known as Lok Nayak, returned to India in 1929 and called upon the people to take advantage of the World War II to stop the British exploitation of India and to overthrow the colonial government. He protested against the recruitment of Indian soldiers for the British Army and was imprisoned for 9 months. After his release, he met Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose.
JP joined the Congress at the invitation of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He was also a member of the Congress Socialist Party, which worked underground to promote the campaign for freeing India from British rule. He actively participated in the freedom struggle and led the Quit India movement in 1942 when all the senior leaders had been arrested. He, too, was soon arrested under the Defence of India rules, a preventive detention law that did not require trial. He was put in the Hazaribagh Central Jail. JP and his fellow prisoners planned to escape from the jail. Their chance came soon on Diwali in November 1942, when a large number of guards were on leave because of the festival. It was a daring escape which made JP a folk hero.
After nearly 1 year of hunt, JP was arrested in Amritsar on September 18, 1943, while on his way to Rawalpindi to meet Frontier Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He was taken to Lahore Fort, which was notorious as a torture chamber. 16 months of mental and physical torture followed. JP was put in solitary confinement for the first month. This was followed by interrogation, physical torture, and humiliation. In January 1945, he was transferred from Lahore Fort to Agra Jail. When Mahatma Gandhi insisted that he would begin negotiations with the British rulers only after an unconditional release of Ram Manohar Lohia and Jayaprakash, they were released on 12th April 1946. JP breathed his last on 8th October 1979 in Patna. He dedicated himself totally to Mahatma Gandhi's ideal of Sampurna Swarajya or total revolution.
ऊंच नीच पर आधारित जाति प्रथा को खत्म किया जाए। अब समय आ गया है इस कलंक को मिटा दें और भाईचारे और समानता को अपना आदर्श बनाएं और अपने जीवन में उतारें। इसी तरह शादी, जन्म, मृत्यु से जुड़े हुए भी कुछ और बुरे रिवाज हैं। संपूर्ण क्रांति के द्वारा इन्हें भी खत्म किया जाना चाहिए।
JP pursued his efforts towards people's participatory governance and corruption-free value-based public life. His integrity, towering reputation, and his self-effacing simplicity endeared him to the nation.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, will be on a 3-day visit to India from tomorrow. During the visit, Ms. Frederiksen will call on President Ramnath Kovind and hold bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The visit by the Danish Prime Minister will give both sides an opportunity to discuss the entire gamut of bilateral relations and review the progress in implementation of the Green Strategic Partnership. Both sides will also discuss regional and multilateral issues of mutual interest. At least 50 people were killed today in a bomb attack on worshippers at a Shiite mosque in the Afghan city of Kunduz. Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid had earlier said an unknown number of people had been killed and injured when an explosion took place in a mosque of our Shiite compatriots in Kunduz. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack, but the Islamic State group, arch rival of the Taliban, has claimed similar recent atrocities.
The Sensex and the Nifty today closed with gains. Both the indices gained more than 0.5% amid positive Asian cues. The Sensex reclaimed the 60,000 mark while the Nifty ended near 17,900 level. A report from the business world.
BSE Sensex climbed 381 points to finish at 60,059. NSE Nifty also surged 105 points to settle at 17,895. At the foreign exchange market, the rupee weakened by 21 paise against the US dollar. The local currency settled to 74 rupees and 99 paise against the US currency. Gold was trading at 46,900 rupees per 10 grams. Silver fell by 50 rupees to 61,210 rupees per kilogram, and in intraday trade, Brent crude was trading around $82.30 per barrel. Arjun Chaudhary for AIR News.
The Environment Ministry today said that the paddy straw generated in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh is expected to come down significantly this year. The total paddy straw generation is likely to come down by 1.31 million tons in Punjab, 0.8 million tons in Haryana and 0.09 million tons in the 8 NCR districts of the UP. The total quantity of straw generated by these states was 28.4 million tons last year, which is now expected to come down to 26.21 million tons this year. In IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians were 177 for 5 in 15 overs against Sunrisers Hyderabad in Zayed Cricket Stadium, Abu Dhabi when reports last came in. Mumbai won the toss and elected to bat. In another match, Delhi Capitals were 139 for 3 in 16.4 overs against Royal Challengers Bangalore in Dubai International Stadium. Dubai Royal Challengers won the toss and opted to bowl.
Indian grappler Anshu Malik has scripted history as she became the first Indian woman to win a silver medal in the World Wrestling Championships. Anshu lost to Olympic medalist Helen Maroulis of the USA 4-1 in the summit clash of women's 57 kg category at Oslo in Norway yesterday. Maroulis won the gold medal after her splendid show. Anshu Malik is a two-time Asian Championship medalist, which includes gold and a ranking series silver medalist.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between 25 and 36 degrees Celsius. Mumbai to have rain or thunder showers which would occur towards evening or night. The minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 36 degrees. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Temperature will vary between 26 and 32 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy skies. City will observe a minimum temperature of 27 degrees and a maximum of around 34 degrees. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 9 and 28 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Leh is likely to witness mainly clear sky. Minimum and the maximum temperature will be between 1 and 19 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 9 and 30 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mostly sunny sky. Minimum temperature will be 15 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Vishakhapatnam will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. City will observe a minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 34 degrees. Bengaluru will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 20 and 26 degrees Celsius. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature will be 24 degrees and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. In Puducherry, there will be generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will vary between 25 and 31 degrees Celsius. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature will be 25 degrees and the maximum will be around 35 degrees Celsius. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Tata Sons wins bid for acquiring the national carrier Air India for 18,000 crore rupees. Journalist Maria Ressa of Philippines and Dmitry Muratov of Russia win the Nobel Peace Prize for 2021. In a major success for the Indian diplomacy, UK government reverses its quarantine policy on fully vaccinated Indian travellers to the UK. Reserve Bank of India keeps the repo rate unchanged at 4% and the reverse repo rate at 3.35%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls up Fumio Kishida and congratulates him on assuming the charge as the new Prime Minister of Japan. Prime Minister of Denmark, Mette Frederiksen, to arrive in India tomorrow on a 3-day visit. At least 50 people killed in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. More than 93 crore 17 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate at 97.96%. Ministry of Coal to launch the next round of auction process for 40 new coal mines for sale of coal. And Indian grappler Anshu Malik creates history as she becomes the first Indian woman to win a silver medal in the World Wrestling Championships. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.